Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review for Monster Musume no Iru Nichijou, or Everyday Life with Monster Girls, Chapter 65, recording this back to back to back, right after 63 and 64. In this one, I think of the three, was, for the majority of it, kind of the best of the three, but then the ending kind of knocked it down a lot of pegs for me because they were telling a really good story with it and then threw that story completely out the window at the end. Um, but again, I think in hindsight, especially after the ending, it's not as good as 64. And of course, not as good as 66 and 67 because they're great, but I'll get to them after this. But it still was pretty good. Again, this isn't going to be a super negative review. I liked almost all of this. So we start off with some new male characters, a trio of characters, and there's a lot of stuff toward the beginning, a lot of stuff that's very, very, very lewd, not all that funny. Like, my notes just say not really lewd, not very funny. It just made me think of that stupid Donkey Kong meme. Wasn't funny. Didn't laugh. But we get some new girls, again, to match up with the three new human characters. A taper, a squid girl, don't know if there's a name for that. Don't know, like, if the taper is supposed to be one of those dream sucky things. I don't remember what they're called from, like, Eastern folklore. Don't know if the Squid Girl has like an actual species name other than Squid Girl, and a land harpy. We also get introduced to this new villain guy who recurs in the next chapter as well. And they tell this really good story of the characters being there because they want to pick up monster girlfriends. I mean, who doesn't? And they want to get these girls to come back with them and live at their houses so that they can just have lewd monster girlfriends. And along the way, they realize, like, as they get to know the girls, they're like, we shouldn't, like, come into this for that reason. Like, we should have these girls, like, be our monster girlfriends and come live with us, but that shouldn't have been the goal. It was wrong of us for that to have been the goal, which is good. Like, that's a really good story to tell, and it still lets them end up with those characters. They can still end up together while also having the story of, you know what, that shouldn't have been why we did it. But then at the end, they just like heavily imply sex, and the lewd stuff at the end kind of ruins that story because the whole story they built up was we shouldn't just be going after these girls for sex, we should actually sort of care about them, and then just giving them sex anyway kind of ruined that stuff at the end. And it also a little bit ruined me caring about seeing more of these characters, because I did, you know how like we had the Bloodsucker chapter? I love that chapter, I want to go back to it. The Bloodsuckers are my favorite characters, I want to be their blood donor. But I was thinking we could have another chapter with these three girls and three guys. We could have more chapters with them, like side chapters and stuff, and that'd be really fun. But then the ending, I was like, eh. Like, it had a lot of substance throughout this chapter. Throughout, like, again, the modern Manmusu problem of having a lot of lewd stuff that kind of detracts from the story and the comedy, it did have a lot of substance to the story in there. But then at the end they kind of said, screw the substance. So I'd still give it 5.5 out of 10. 5.5 new groups out of 10. I don't know. It was okay. It was okay. Like I said, it would have probably, if they didn't do the lewd stuff at the end, I think it probably would have been my best reviewed out of it, because not only did we get sort of the good character designs and lewd stuff throughout, and there was, I don't know, the comedy just wasn't really as much there this chapter, but again, the art was great as always, and it managed to tell a good story up until the end. So it probably would have been my highest rated, but even being my lowest rated at 5.5, that's not really bad. It wasn't really bad or anything. It was just okay. It was alright. But we're going to get into 66 and 67 after this, which I think are both really good. And then I'm excited. I haven't read 68 yet, but I'm excited to read it. because I think 68 is going to be really good too, just from the title. Because I have seen the title of 68. So yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, follow on Twitter if you want. If you want to help support the channel on Patreon to help me keep making videos, it's patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, or a link will be in the description. And if you want a link to the Discord server, ask and I'll give you one. But losing my train of thought here. There's a lot more coming on the channel, like I mentioned, a lot more Monmusu. I got to review everything up to 68, react to 68, and then I'm going to do a waifu tier list video. Lots coming there. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. I mentioned last video, go check out Plus Size Stealth if you want, and also check out 12 Beast if you haven't already. It's by the same mangaka as Monmusu, and it's really good. Just got canceled, but hopefully it can make a return someday. I'm pleading off camera here. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.